In this episode of Whale Word, we discuss how a whale sees, how they find their prey, how they find each other, and how they navigate their environment. Now, when you put your head under the water, one of the first things you notice is that you can't see very well. As light travels through water, it's absorbed by the water molecules, and suspended particles in the water column further reduce visibility. So, eyesight in our oceans is fundamentally limited. On top of that, many species of whales are deep divers, and the deeper you go, the darker it gets. Just to illustrate this, here are 6 whale species showing their maximum recorded dive depth. At about 200 metres, you reach the dysphotic, or twilight zone. Below this depth, there isn't enough light for photosynthesis, but plenty of whales still feed here. At about 1,000 metres, you reach the aphotic, or midnight zone. Here, there is simply no light. It's totally dark. The only light is produced by some deep sea animals. But whales still feed here and need to be skilled to do so. That maximum depth for an orca, 1,087 metres, was from an animal that plucked Patagonian toothfish off a fishing line. For a 10-ton animal to do that and avoid the hook, you need to be very aware of your immediate environment. The deepest divers of all are the beaked whales, who feed on fish and squid in the pitch black. The 2 deepest diving species are northern bottlenose whales and Cuvier's beaked whales. Prey density is quite low down here, so you need to first find your prey and then catch it. Now, whales do have eyes and eyesight after all. They can't see full colour, but they can see red. Their clarity is similar to blurry human vision. So if they're feeding in dark, murky waters on prey that's often quite difficult to catch, they're going to need more senses than just eyesight. The most well-known of these is echolocation, and perhaps the most powerful example of this is from the sperm whale.
The sperm whale is the largest toothed whale on the planet, and it feeds upon giant squids, which are almost always present in very deep waters. So the sperm whale has to dive up to 2,000 meters depth. So what does the sperm whale do to see in the dark? Basically, the whale starts to emit specific clicks. So when it is going to look for food, it uses usual clicks, which are regular clicks. And with those, it scans the area, it echolocates around itself. Once the whale finds the prey, it will receive back the echo of the click, and the whale will be able to hear the echo and understand that there is a prey. When it is clear that there is a prey, the whale starts to change the clicks. They become clicks, so faster clicks. The closer the sperm whale goes to the prey, the faster the clicks become. And then, when it is in front of the prey and it is going to eat it, it stops clicking. And in this case, the sperm whale is successful in dark, deep water with his belly full.
But that is only toothed whales. What about the baleen whales? They're not using echolocation, so how are they finding their food? One thing that I often forget is that baleen whales are predators. They are hunters. They are massive hunters. So how are they finding their food if they're not using echolocation? Well, there are a couple theories. There are a lot of theories. 1, whales are hearing their food. Whales don't hear quite like humans do. It's in different frequencies. And one theory is that they might actually be hearing fish farts, and that's how they find the fish. 2, they can actually smell their prey. It was thought for a long time that whales had no sense of smell at all. But indigenous people were telling scientists for years that bowhead whales actually did have a sense of smell. It turns out that bowhead whales do have a sense of smell. 3, it's thought that whales might actually have pretty decent night vision, some species at least. One of those whales being the bowhead whale. So bowheads are kind of winning in the whole senses department. 4, bioluminescence is lighting up their prey. 5, they can sense the bathymetry of the seafloor and know where to find their prey because of these different formations. 6, I realized, how do you say the Guani dolphin? 6, The Guyana dolphin actually has electromagnetic receptors similar to that of a platypus. But that is not a baleen whale. But it's still very, very cool and something that is amazing to discover. So, fitting to whales, it remains a mystery of how exactly whales are feeding and getting around with not so great eyesight. But whales have definitely, by far, made up for it with other highly evolved senses.